Good afternoon and welcome to the Public Service Commission. It's Thursday, July 11th, 2024 at 3 p.m. And we are here for a special commission business meeting to install officers for the next 2 years. My name is Florence Belser. I've had the privilege of serving as chair of the commission for the last 2 years, and this is my last official act as chair. I'd like to welcome everyone today to this installation ceremony. We have some wonderful dignitaries and family and friends and other representatives of parties that appear before us, and we'd just like to welcome everyone here today. Before we begin, I'm going to recognize Commissioner Mike Caston to provide an invocation for us.
Best prayers are short prayers. And when Jesus prayed, he said, Abba, Father, Daddy. So let's talk to Daddy. Father God, thank you for all the folks that are here, all those gathered to see this oath that's to be taken. And Lord, above all things, I pray, not just for the commission, but for Chair Powers. I pray for your wisdom, your guidance. Help him to know what to do at all times. And help us, Lord, to serve him in the way you want us to serve and to help as you want us to help. Bless the food that you've got for us. And that's about it, Lord. Thank you. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Commissioner. We will first administer the oath to our incoming Vice Chair, Commissioner Justin Williams.
Now, I don't want y'all to think I've been abandoned, but my family reunion is going on as we speak. And so I told them they could sit this one out because Jocelyn could do a good job swearing me in.
Thank you for the faith in me. Mr. Williams, as you've already done, place your left hand on the Bible. Please raise your right hand. Please
See, she's trying to cover for me, but I'm going to tell the truth. I'm about to take an oath.
Raise your right hand, please.
All right.
All right. Please repeat after me.
Yes, ma'am.
As Vice Chairman of the Public Service Commission of South Carolina,
As Vice Chairman of the Public Service Commission of South Carolina,
I do solemnly swear or affirm
I do solemnly swear
that I am duly qualified,
that I am duly qualified,
according to the Constitution of this state,
according to the Constitution of this state,
to exercise the duties of the office
to exercise the duties of the office
to which I have been elected,
to which I have been elected,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge the duties thereof,
discharge the duties thereof,
and preserve and protect
and preserve and protect
and defend
and defend
the Constitution of this state
the Constitution of this state
and of the United States.
and of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you very
Yes, sir.
much.
Before Vice Chair Williams makes some remarks, I've been given the opportunity to make some remarks, perhaps as an introduction. Vice Chair Williams came to the Public Service Commission in July of 2018, and since then he has been energetic, engaged, busy, and just hitting the floor trying to do the best he can, and he's done an outstanding job. I came to the commission as a commissioner in February of 2019, and I have thoroughly enjoyed working with the vice chair. We have, our offices are in the same suite. We have discussed, we've argued, we've laughed, but through it all, I think we've tried to work together to come to good decisions for the benefit of the ratepayers of South Carolina, as well as the investor-owned utilities that we are charged with regulating. I can't tell you how I really can't adequately express his dedication and hard work. He really is amazing with what he gets done. Since he's been on the commission, he's become a father. He's shared his young son and his wife with us, who we've enjoyed getting to know. He has served his country as a member of the Army Reserve. He's a true patriot. He's even been deployed overseas during his time here on the commission. And with as busy as we've been in the past few years, and it just seems like it's been really busy, I think that everyone who appears here can agree, somehow, with everything going on, the work here, his family life, his service to his country, he's also found time to get a master's degree. And I can't figure out how he's done all that. But I think that speaks to the kind of person, the kind of attorney, the kind of man that he is that once he starts something, he goes for it with passion and with full-out commitment. And that's what he's done. He's been a tremendous example for me. I was fortunate to serve as vice chair under him before becoming chair, and I learned a lot. He treats everyone with dignity and respect. He listens, and he tries to make well-reasoned, thoughtful, legal decisions. I don't think you can ask for anything more from anyone serving in a capacity such as this. So, Vice Chair, I'm so proud to be able to serve under your leadership again, and congratulations. And ladies and gentlemen, I introduce Vice Chair Justin Williams.
Well, Past Chair Belzer, thank you so much for those kind words. I must say all glory and credit goes to God and my family. I'm a simple man from a simple place, raised by people who invested so very much into me, dreams, goals, aspirations that they could not accomplish. I feel is my duty to accomplish them. And so every hour worked here, every accomplishment by way of education and even military pursuit and even becoming a father is nothing more than a manifestation of the love and the training and the teachings and the time spent with my parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins in the Wagner, Aiken, Orangeburg, Nices, Norway area. And so all those kind of things that you're saying about me, really you're saying them about those people, the people who raised me and the place where I come from. I believe this is Chairman Powers' day. I've already served as vice chair, already served as chair, but I've never served with a man like Chairman Powers. And I hope that some of whatever it is he has rubs off on me, not just by way of his legal ability, but just some of the practical ability as a man. This man has broken his neck twice, survived a shark attack, and some other things that he's lived through. And he looks as if none of that has happened. I mean, he's an outstanding human, let alone all the stories he could tell you from his 40-plus year legal career. And so to be under his leadership, I'm going to learn a lot, not just about leadership, but about life and about the practice of law in South Carolina and about improving our beloved Public Service Commission. And I'll say this in closing. When I came to the commission in 2018, it was a different place. I say this all the time because I think it should be said. There were wanted posters for commissioners floating throughout the media. There were protests in and around the commission, and it was a very interesting place to be. I won't use the word hostile because that may be too strong, but let me just tell you, there's a phrase I remember that was said a lot whenever the Public Service Commission would come up, and it would be the much maligned Public Service Commission. I haven't heard that in a while, and that makes me happy because the staff here and the commissioners here have done a very, very good job of doing our best to serve the people of South Carolina. And I even have to acknowledge my good friend, former Commissioner Swain Whitfield, who made the motion for me to become chair. And I didn't know what I was getting into, and I had to have a conversation with him. You know, I thought we were friends, Swain. And here I find out you make a motion to make me chair while I'm away, trying to survive. yet to come back to another place where, yet again, I'm trying to survive. But nonetheless, this has been one of the most wonderful experiences of my young life, and I could not thank God enough for the opportunity. Just so you all know, you may not notice because the folks to my left are so beautiful and handsome, but there's about a 20-year difference between me and my colleagues, and so regardless of what I've learned in school and in my military pursuits and so forth and so on, I'm getting a multitude of experience from the combination of years and experience in a variety of areas. And I sit at these people's feet to learn as much as I can and hopefully become a better commissioner, a better man, a better father, a better Christian, and a better servant for the people of South Carolina. So to my colleagues, thank you so much for electing me as vice chair. Chairman Powers, I'm looking forward to learning as much as I can from you, because hopefully if I reach your position, I'll have much to share with those that come behind me. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Vice Chair. We'll now move to the oath for our incoming chair, Commissioner Delton Powers, and we're so honored today to have with us the Honorable James E. Lockamy, retired Chief Judge from the South Carolina Court of Appeals. Judge Lockamy, thank you very much for being here. I know it's an honor to have you here. I know it means a world with Delton, but thank you. And so, Mr. Chairman, if you'd like to move down and receive or maybe Judge Lockamy has some remarks first. I'm not sure how he wants to do. I will turn it over to Judge Lockamy at
I'm
this
not
point.
sure if I should stand by. A guy been bit by a shark has got to come down here and made it through. But thank y'all, past Chairman Belcher. Thank you so much. And Dwayne Swain, good to see you again. So many times around the State House. And as Delton knows, and many of you know, it's an interesting process to become a commissioner or a judge in our state, but it's, to me, the best process in the nation, the way we do that. When you think about it, most elections you end up with 25 or 35% of at the most people voting. But when you think about commissioners or judges and all in the legislature voting, you end up with like 98 or 99% of the legislators voting, and they represent all the people of the state of South Carolina. So you end up with a 98 or 99% involvement rate of things. And many of y'all have been involved not just 1, 2, or 3 times, but running for other offices too, as your incoming chair has been involved with it. My name is James Lockamy. I'm from the neighboring county of Dillon County, next to Marlboro County, where Delton is from. But of course, we don't just say Marlboro County. He's from the big metropolis of Clio. We say Clio unless you're a northerner driving to the beach and get stopped and get a ticket in Clio. And Delton, I'm sure, has had many clients who say, you know, I got a ticket in your town of Clio. Can you help me get out of this thing here? My father was born in McCall, which is the small town right over from Clio in Marlboro County. And my dad used to tell me the roughest area in the state of South Carolina is the road between McCall and Clio, because they fight, shoot, and knife and kill each other in that area. Most of the crime in the Fourth Circuit is either in Dillon or between McCall and Clio. It's amazing. My daddy's name is Locklear. He is a Native American. As Delton knows, we have a few hundred Native Americans in Marlboro and Dillon County. And my daddy, as a Locklear, met my mother, Scotch-Irish person named Turberville. Mother's name is Jackson. And they said, you're not going to be marrying no Indian with a name like Locklear, bringing Locklear into the family. And so my daddy, being the first pro se litigant in Dillon County, basically went down to the courthouse, filled out a form, and changed his name to Lockamy. He just made it up. People think I'm Italian, they think I'm Polish or whatever else, but no, it's a made-up name my father did when he wanted to make sure he could marry my mother, and they got married. And my sister was born, and I was born with this made-up name of Lockamy that a lot of Native Americans have changed their name to. Of course, he didn't know that his son was going to later on be a lawyer and a judge, such that now when I go to court, they say, oh, my God, there comes Judge Lockamy up. or something of that nature. And then sometimes he get to prison and he send me letters thinking I can get him out of prison. Since I sent him to prison, I don't want to explain to him, hey, once you're gone, you're gone. I don't have much authority after that. But they'll send me letters and misspell my name, and they might say Lackamy, Lackmy, or they might say in a spirit of being fortunate, Luckamy. But once in a while, they put Lickamy, and I throw those away right away. I don't address those. You know, Delton's family had a grocery store just like my family. We all grow up now thinking of convenience stores and things of that nature, but when Delton was a young child, his family ran a superette or grocery store. We didn't just think of a convenience store. We thought we were basically there for the community. People would come in, and many times they would say what they wanted, and your family would go back and get it off the shelf for them. That's what we did at Lockham's Grocery, and I'm sure at Power Superette the same way. But yet, we as children, as we stood there in those stores and saw all these people coming in, Commissioner Williams, soldiers and sailors and Air Force people who'd been all over the world where we had never been, listening to them talk about it as they sat there and got them a beer or got him a Coke or got him a piece of cheese or a piece of bologna or nabs, as we called them, or potato chips. And we would listen and learn so many things. And Delton learned a lot in his life by being at those stores and by also having to converse with people he never met and listening and listening and listening. That power of listening and learning from what you hear from people stayed with Delton. I know because I remember as a boy the same things that happened to me. And also that thought of hard work. You know, you can think of all the various franchisees with all the workers and all that and the Walmarts and the stores, but when you have a small country grocery store, you got to be the one working there. And he saw his parents knowing they were the ones having to be there. They were the ones having to do it from early morning hours to late at night. And the work it took and the dedication it took. And also the relationships they would involve in the community, that people who would get to know them. And I bet you, I don't know this, but I have a feeling at some point in time in Clio, there were certain funerals that his family knew about, and they would send maybe groceries over there to people so that they would know how that the Powers and the people of that store cared for the people in the community. Those things that instill upon you this sense of society, this sense of love and respect for your fellow man and your fellow human being in this world. Delton grew up like that. Little did he know growing up in the 50s and 60s, as I did, in Newtown area of Dillon at Lockham's Grocery, that these two little boys and at Power Superette and Clio and Lockham's Grocery in Dillon, that we'd be here today on July the 11th, 2024, at the most powerful commission in the state for utilities, the Public Service Commission. And I say that not just to smile, but to say truthfully, in the Constitution, things they do are reviewed direct with original jurisdiction with the Supreme Court. So these are very important things that are handled here at this commission. Very important, very significant. And it takes people of the right fortitude, it takes people of the right demeanor, it takes people of the abilities to listen and make decisions. As Commissioner Williams was saying, I remember those days in 18 and 17 and all that. I remember in court hearing about all those things and us reviewing them, and so a lot of things have changed. But it is a glass bowl. It is a hot box for things you have to do. But you have on this commission people who have the basically the trust of the people to do what's right in these utilities, to do what's right in the needs that we all have. We all have. You know, my first time really getting to know Delton, although he was a small town attorney as I was I remember when we first did a Christmas thing in our renewed theater we restored in Dillon County. It used to be a movie theater. We made it into a performing arts center. We were going to have our first ever Christmas program. And somehow we got him and his family. They agreed to come over. And can you believe it? Delton Powers can sing. Ask him to do one of these days when all the lights are going out and the commission's being blamed because of utilities, because of the storms and all that. Let him sing, "Oh, Holy Night." He's got a great voice, and he did a great job there in Dillon County. And I went over later on to see him when they renewed and restored their theater in Marlboro. And then I saw Delton in court as a solicitor, and in the Fourth Circuit, Dillon, Marlboro, Darlington, and Chesterfield. The prosecutors, called the solicitors, and the public defenders, they all basically get along. And the defendants, usually you know them. He had to stand there and present a case for someone about to go to prison with people he knew, families he knew. But he had a duty, and he had to do that duty. And it wasn't easy sometimes, but when you're in these small communities and you have a duty to prosecute, then you must do it, even though it's people you know, families you know, maybe children who've grown up and maybe turned the wrong way and now are in trouble, and you have to there present them to a judge who you know, this mother and this father who you've known. You're going to have to watch them as they say goodbye to their son or their daughter about to go to jail. It builds something in you, this sense of the fact that you have a duty to the community, you have a duty to the law. And Delton has basically got that within him, He also has a very great sense of history. I know he and Kitty, one time I was over their home, and she has a sword that was owned by Wade Hampton when he was the commander of the Confederate Cavalry years ago. She's one of the descendants. And not only that, but history of all things in South Carolina, the Revolutionary War. And I'm sure, Delton, you might be aware that the 250th Anniversary Commission of the Declaration of Independence, we're now working hard for the next 2 years so that in 2026, we're going to let people know in Marlboro County, that was in the Charles District during the Revolution, as well as Dillon County, that we were very much involved with a lot of conflicts in the Revolutionary War leading up to our independence from Great Britain. I'm very honored that Delton asked me to say a few words the day before I administer the oath. And before I do that, have you ever thought about this? You just had the oath administered to your vice chair, and I'm about to administer it to Delton. That a difference in taking a job, a difference in getting a job at the factory, getting a job at the store, getting a job in a business, and yet taking a duty where you have to take an oath. Meaning that you can have some serious repercussions if you violate that oath. Although you may not have violated the law per se, if you violate that oath, there are serious repercussions for that. So it's not something that you just take, hey, let's do the oath, big deal, let's go on and do our job. These commissioners don't have a job. They have a duty. They have a duty. They have a responsibility. Sure, it's an honor to say that I'm commissioner so-and-so, or I'm vice chair, I'm chair, I'm former chair. That's an honor. But on that one shoulder that you have that honor, on the other shoulder you have that responsibility to live up to the oath that you take to make sure you preserve and protect and defend the Constitution of this state and the United States. And that's part of Article 6 of the United States Constitution that requires that everybody everywhere in every state do that. And part of that preserving, protecting, and defending the Constitution is making sure when you make decisions, you make them because you think this is in the best interest of your duty to the people of the state of South Carolina. Without undue influence, without any other type of motives other than doing what you think is right and best. And once you go afoul of that, that's when trouble happens. So that's why we have this oath to be administered, to make sure you renew, to make sure you are aware that you do have a duty. Delton, as I said, I'm very honored to administer this oath to you. I'm very honored to be here with your family. As I understand that one of your grandchildren is going to come up and hold the Bible. Are you ready to go, Delton? Yes, sir. No, I said, are you ready to go, Delton?
Go!
Oh, yeah, let's get going. Delton's going to come down, and first he's going to do a Myrtle Beach shag dance for us. And then after that, we'll start. No shagging. All right. Who is it going to hold the Bible for you? Savannah. Come around, Savannah. Now, Savannah, if you would, this is a rather heavy Bible. Hope you can hold it there for you. Now, do you know what hand he's supposed to put in the Bible? Very good, Savannah. Got it right, the left hand. Let's see if he can do it. He did it right. How about that? Now, if you would, Dalton, raise your right hand and repeat after me. As chair of the Public Service Commission
As Chair of the Public Service Commission
of the state of South Carolina,
of the State of South Carolina,
I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I am duly qualified,
I am duly qualified,
according to the Constitution of this state,
according to the Constitution of this state,
to exercise the duties of the office
to exercise the duties of the office
to which I have been elected,
to which I have been elected,
and that I will, to my best of my ability,
and I will do to the best of my ability,
discharge the duties thereof,
discharge the duties thereof,
and preserve
and preserve
and protect
and protect
and defend
and defend
the Constitution of this state
the Constitution of this state
and of the United States.
and of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. Chairman. Delton Powers, your chair.
Thank you.
Thank you, Savannah.
You'll have to bear with me since my radiation treatment. This is my new best friend, water. Wow. Madam Chair, fellow commissioners, friends, honored guests, which you are all in that category, thank you for coming today. It really means so much to me to see all of you here. And I do realize this role carries a great responsibility. I know it's been 10 days and I haven't had a chance to get a haircut. And I would steal a comment from a friend of mine who had a very high job at one point. He was a Citadel graduate, and he told people in his speech, and I'll have to say the same thing, I've never been known as the tightest ship in the fleet. But I look forward to doing this challenge, to do this job, and I pledge to do it with unwavering dedication and integrity. Allow me first to express my heartfelt appreciation to Judge Lockamy for being here today. Those not in the legal world or the military or the PD may not know the many accomplishments he has made, both professionally and in his community and for his country. He's someone I've always admired, his legal ability, his love of history and theater, his love of Dillon County, South Carolina, and his country. He served our country in the military for many years while fulfilling all other duties. Baseball, I think he was a Texas Rangers fan, but we're going to overlook that. But I am honored you're here and profoundly thank you. Let me also thank my fellow commissioners for their work, friendship, and devotion to this job. I don't know that many can really appreciate what we must do in balancing the different interests before us and apply the law as we have it. This stuff's hard. This stuff is very hard. But we have a wonderful and I think a very competent team, which I'm very proud. Every one of these people behind me bring unique talents, interests, and abilities to this commission. Chair Belser, no one can match your knowledge, experience, and expertise. I thank you for what you've done, and it means so much to this commission. And your continued guidance means so much to me. As I said when we had our earlier meeting, you can notice I'm sitting over there with her, and I'm putting the rest of these people down here on the other end because I need her next to me, and I need her help. And I thank you. My same appreciation goes to the lawyers and all the staff that work here at the commission. As been said, nobody really knows what all they do, but they do it to make us look good and to make us or help us to make right decisions. And they do it well. They're great people. They're absolutely great people. I'm going to skip saying too much about my family because I don't want to cry. My grandfather could ride by a wedding in his truck and cry. It's just, it's that close to the top for me. You know, you all mean the world to me, and it means the world to me to have you here. I hope some of you get to meet him. We have a little reception afterwards. My sisters tell me that Mama tried. At least, whatever is wrong with me, at least made me funny. And I think she and my dad will be smiling down today from heaven. At least they're not in this heat. Also here in the family section is my good friend, Sheriff of Marlboro County, Larry McNeil. seated there in uniform. Larry and I go way back. He's been a lifelong friend. And luckily, I know enough about him that I can wander free when I'm in Marlboro County. And my friend Kitty, seated there in the front with her son Jack. Thank you for everything. Although she's executive director of the South Carolina Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers, teaches at the University of South Carolina, and is responsible tonight and tomorrow for a seminar, dinner, and big event in Greenwood, to which she's going to dash to very shortly, I'm sure. She has put together the refreshments and the things we have, and I hope you will all enjoy this once I quit talking. She was recently named Freshman Teacher of the Year at Carolina, and I'm very proud of her and proud to have her in my corner. We don't have VC Sumner today, but these are very challenging times. The population growth in this state, the commitment we have to a growing economy, the struggles of ordinary people, the rapid changes in technology, global warming, and so many other things that are challenges that we have. As to population, I've often said nobody retires and moves up north. As chairman, though, I want to make these commitments. I want us to continue with transparency and accountability for what we do. Our decisions must be guided by the law, by the data we have, and communicated clearly to the public and to the citizens, to the ratepayers. The heart of this mission, I feel, is consumer protection. We've got to protect the consumers. We've got to look out for the rights and interests of the ratepayers, but we also have to look out for the utilities and for the economic development. Unlike many states, we at the commission, we don't set the policies. We don't set the rules. That is done by the legislature and the governor. All we can do is apply the law, whether it's ensuring fair utility rates, addressing disruptions in service. We will hopefully prioritize the well-being of our fellow citizens as best we can under the law. A big challenge now with all the population, with all the growth, the AI technology, is infrastructure modernization. Our state's infrastructure is the backbone of our economy. I like flipping the switch and the light coming on. I like walking into the house with the air conditioner on. We sit as a quasi-judicial body, and unfortunately, I found out from visiting other states and going to different conventions, there are other groups that have real involvement in policy. We don't. We can apply the law, and we got to do it fairly. We hope that the utilities, and we can help them to embrace renewable energy sources, grid resilience, the new smart technologies, and to look out for the regular working person. Because of the judicial position, we work pretty much in isolation. But the utilities and stakeholders don't. And I encourage the utilities to continue working with stakeholders, with different companies, with environmental groups, community leaders, and collaborate and find innovative solutions to the pressing challenges that you deal with. The other thing that I think is important, and when I came here, I thought it was the main goal, and that was because I spent many years on the Coastal Council, and it's the agency after that called OCRM, which was Coastal Resource Management, is environmental stewardship. Climate change is real, and our utilities play a crucial role in helping us. We can't put on the brakes, but we can certainly slow down. We need to explore sustainable practices, reduce emissions, and protect our natural resources for generations to come. The Bible tells us that we are stewards of this planet, and we've got to do better. We're not going to be here forever. My children are going to be here, my grandchildren are going to be here, and I hope their grandchildren will be here, and there's a world for them to enjoy. I look in their eyes, and I see that this is especially important to me, that we do our best to protect the environment and protect the future. There are those who come after us who have to deal with a lot of problems that were created by our parents, grandparents, and we're in a position now where hopefully we can help slow it down. In closing, stand here before you with humility and determination. I hope we can move forward guided by the compass of public interest, fairness, and progress. I ask people to get involved with their community, get involved with their friends, go check on your mama, do what you need to do, and do whatever you can to help others whenever you can in any way that you can. Be kind, be patient, and have some fun every day. Thank you for your trust, and let's work together and make it better. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here with us today as we've installed our new officers. I for one, and I think I can speak for the other members of the commission, look forward to continuing our work on the commission under our new leadership. I think one of the biggest goals that we've all agreed upon is that we provide a forum where all parties have the opportunity to be heard and have a fair process and a fair tribunal in which decisions can be, or evidence can be presented from which decisions can be made. It's wonderful to hear our chair and our vice chair talk about the oath. And Judge Lockamy, thank you very much for your words about duty and responsibility. I don't think that those words can ever be overstated. We certainly appreciate your words on that aspect. Thank you, sir. The chairman has and Kitty have prepared a small reception for us in the back, and we look forward and invite all of you to join us in the meeting room behind this hearing room. I probably, Ms. Boyd, should the best way be to go out and come down the hall, and I think that's probably the best way because we've got various electrical cords running across the floor and some steps, and it's probably safest to go outside the door and come back down the hall to this room behind us. And with that, Mr. Chairman, we will adjourn, and I look forward to you being the one in this seat doing this in the future. Thank you, sir. Thank you again for being here, and we are adjourned.